Yo, y'all read the description. Max B free came home the right way. Give y'all a few minutes to enter the chat. My Lakers lost by 20 the other day, but they've been doing good, so I can't I can't complain. I'm happy for Max B, man. I really am. You know what I mean? He came home after doing 17 years. Man, I can't even imagine doing 17 years. It don't want to. But he came home the right way, you know what I mean? And I know one thing about anytime you do any kind of time, you know what I mean? You always should be grateful for those that stood by you. Even the ones who fell off and they'll fall off and come back and fall off and come back or whatever. You know what I mean? You got to be grateful. It's a lot going on in the world. So for anybody to remember you, whether they had moments of jumping in and out of writing you or accepting your calls or whatever, for them to even take time out to even know that you're not even around, that you locked up and they still deal with you, you got to be a little grateful because me and you already know it's a such thing called out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then to come home after 16, 17, the way he came home, Mel Matrix, Jim Jones homeboy, he did like 6.5, came home and, you know what I mean? I know he happy, he just came home, you know what I mean? Ain't no such thing really as who came home better. You know, niggas just be happy that they out and they came, that they free. You know what I mean? So, um, but if you gonna come home though, after doing a stretch, you would like to come home like Max came home. You know what I mean? Like Max, like this, the way he came home is everything when you locked up, you dream about. You know what I mean? Except for his came true. You know what I mean? And then for him to do 17 years and you know what I mean, a lady stayed by your side as much as she can, strong as possible, and the support, you know what I mean, that he had from different celebrities, True Life, all type of people that we don't even know about, that we know, but we just don't know who was really all supporting him. You know what I mean? You got to respect that, man, because Shine did 10 years and came out weird as hell. You know what I mean? Like, and it's only a chosen few who come home and still somewhat got their senses. You know what I mean? Max B, one of them. BG from Cash Money, he came home. You know what I mean? Someone put Windex in my Gatorade bottle today. I'm in the hospital. Damn, for real? That's foul. Put Windex in your Gatorade, bro? Damn, I hate to even hear something like that. That's foul, man. Make sure I say a prayer for you, dog. People be doing some crazy stuff, bro. Like, who put Windex in my boy Gatorade, bro? So, what it do, family? Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all coming in here. But yeah, his name is Jacob. He got mad at me for punching him because he punched me. That's wild, bro. But yeah, like when you come home from doing any time period and whoever around you got shirt for you, a couple dollars for you, you got to be forever grateful because, like I said, me and you know, like you could be in the county jail, you ain't even got to be in prison. Out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? Oh, you ain't around, you don't exist. You know what I mean? If it's a female, you ain't around, nigga, physically to please me, you don't exist. You know what I mean? That nigga Carlos who come knocking at the back door is the nigga who exists. You know why? Because he's guaranteed to be around. Yeah, he might not be a hustler like you, might not be built like you, but he capable to be here. But like I said, if I'm gonna do time and come home, I'm gonna come home like Max. You know what I mean? Like he came home to stability. It's 21 people in here. Y'all just jumped in, hit that like button. And when you come home like that, that make everything a lot more easier. Like you ain't pressed, you ain't finna do no crash out move. You know what I mean? You ain't finna, do it just a crash out move. You ain't finna go rob no liquor store. You ain't gonna do because you came home and everything is already set up for real, for real. All you got to do is just take your time, learn how to go live, you know what I mean, and interact with your fans. It's a whole different way versus when you left, it was all about Sub-Zero DVDs, Gully TV, maybe MREC was around. It was a chosen few back in the day. But now you could do like what I do. Go live, interact with your supporters, you know what I mean? Tap in, let them see what you got going on. What's your daily routine like? How you living or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, like I said, a lot of people don't even come home from prison after doing a year, 2 years, 3 years. I know people who he actually being charged right now. I'm 16, he's 18. Damn, that's crazy, bro. Put Windex in the man Gatorade. Linda Gomez. Linda Gomez. That's crazy. I would say that about your daddy, but evidently your mom ain't swallowed you. Your daddy made you, so you here. So I give you a pass, Linda. But yeah, man. Max, he came home to good surroundings, you know what I mean? And French Montana and a lot of other people is real good friends. Me and it's people who just, you ain't even got to be doing time. They just ain't good friends on the streets while y'all together. You know what I mean? They just not good friends. They show their hand. They out for self. You know what I mean? So, Chess King. Yeah, so they reporting and you know, you got to be thankful. I mean, Chess King. I mean, I'm subbing my dog. Hit the like button. You know what I mean? Right, my dog. I appreciate you. Set your notification. But we all don't want to go do time. Period. We just hypothetically talking about Max B. How he all over YouTube, all over the internet. The Wave done, Silver Surf done. How he came home, and a lot of you'll hear people in the comments say, "Why people be praising people when they come home from doing time?" Look, man, bruh, it ain't that people be praising people. Not all the time for the crimes they did. Some people do praise people for the crimes they did, but bruh, sometimes, bruh, you just genuinely just miss watching somebody do their thing. You know what I mean? Like it don't got to be that you happy that they came home from a crime. You know what I mean? And then if you is happy, you will hope that while they was away that they learned from the crime that they committed that got them locked up. You know what I mean? Some people is worse than a parole board when it comes to judging people. You know what I mean? Like they ain't never made no mistakes. Some mistakes is deeper than others. You know what I mean? But I'm happy to see him home. I was messing with Max before he got locked up. You know what I mean? He did a lot in a short amount of time. You know what I mean? He had he had splash, wave, whatever, swag, whatever word you want to use before he left. See, dudes like Max, right? The reason dudes like him gonna make it, Max B, is because he know how to be vibrant. Like he a people's person, bro. One thing about people, they love other people who got good energy. You know what I mean? And Max always had good energy if gravity was optional. Max always had good energy. You know what I mean? Like, and them the type of people who you want that's gonna laugh, joke with you, make you laugh. They don't get drunk and high and act all crazy. You know what I mean? And make you be like, man, I can't be around this person when they drinking. And you know, a lot of them Harlem dudes trait is that they got funny, cool energy traits about them. You know what I mean? I know we see Dame Dash on the internet, he be losing it sometimes, but Dame really a funny dude for real. And that's how Max B is. Max gonna smoke his bud. He gonna make you laugh. He gonna bring good energy around you. You know what I mean? He want everybody on the same page. You know, so them the type people you want around you. You know what I mean? Don't nobody want nobody who depressed. Okay, yeah, you just did forever in a day, but that don't mean you gotta wear it on you. You know what I mean? You ever seen some people who do time, like they wear it on them. You know what I mean? Every little dispute or just any little type of conversation, and always result with them saying, "Well, I did time before." You know what I mean? And truth be told, bro, when you really don't like living that life where you may have made a mistake and it cost you, bro, and you went down to prison, bro. Some people learn from that first mistake, bro, and be like, man, I'm cool on that, bro. Like, I ain't ever trying to, you know what I mean, ever deal with that again, bro. Men farting, stanky feet, you know what I mean, fighting over dice games. This dude getting, you know what I mean, fights going on, like everything going on except women. You know what I mean? Anything you could think of that's on the streets is going on inside prison. You know what I mean? So, um, this one Max first time. Max did a little time before, so Max really did it. Most of his life in jail. You know what I mean? So, now it's like mentally, you know what I mean? After doing 17 years and then you've done time before that too, that you would hope a person, you know what I mean, come home kind of like on some Jail Prince Miller type time. Like a lot of like one thing I be realizing, like when you see dudes who come home from jail on the internet, and I'm not saying a lot of dudes, but some dudes who do, that time be done really broke a lot of dudes, and that's what the system want. You know what I mean? They want the time to break you, and I ain't saying break you as far as where you in the mental facility break you. When I'm saying like to the point where it took for that to happen for you to grow. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these dudes who come home, man, you know what I mean, from doing 20 years, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I got in trouble before and did some time, and you know what I mean? Like, time is time, you know what I mean? But these dudes, 17s and 20s and 30 years and all of that, and for you to come out, even know how to read a line out of a book, I give you props for that because cages is not for humans, dog. You know what I mean? Like, some people say life is a cage. You know what I mean? But you gotta have boundaries, and you gotta have boundaries, and you gotta have it's gotta be law and order. You know what I mean? It can't just be chaos. You know what I mean? You gotta have rules in life, and you gotta abide by them. And if you don't want to abide by them, they got places that'll make you abide by the rules. And then you'll have some ignorant people still say, even then, I want to abide by the rules. Okay, cool. That's on you. You know what I mean? You're just gonna live your whole life being ignorant and not listening to nobody. And so you'll have a chosen few say, yeah. But anybody who done any time, man, you know what I mean? You hope that they will learn from it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of smart people is in prison. Just because you get caught for a crime and you doing time, don't make you dumb. It's just your actions was dumb. You know what I mean? But that don't mean a dude is illiterate, stupid, can't write his name. You know what I mean? Nah. You know, so sometimes when you get sentenced or you get locked up, it really can save your life for real. You know what I mean? And it can extend your life too. You know what I mean? Like if you was wilding and doing drills and just you know what I mean, pipe on you all day. You know what I mean? 30 onto my ladder sticking out. You know what I mean? You own it all day. Goddamn shiesty on. You ain't playing no games. You hitting licks, trapping. You know what I mean? You doing it all. When you get caught up, believe it or not, the only thing that's gonna slow you down is a casket or handcuffs. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, some of us don't make it to the handcuffs before you can slow down. You make it to a casket. Like some people, when they get in stuff, it go further than others. You know what I mean? I was fortunate enough for God to bless me to where I would get in stuff, but then it didn't get too out of hand. You know what I mean? So, and I've done a lot of out of hand things. You know what I mean? So, um, from a person speaking from experience, I know if I was him and I came home and I got blessed like that, I got jewelers giving me jewelry. Yeah, everybody, because I don't see nothing wrong when some people say, well, people was, giving him stuff, and some people it was a motive. It don't matter, even if the jeweler was giving him a chain and they got his name on it because they know he fresh out, he hot come out, and they want him anytime. This is what I learned when it comes to you trying to build a brand. Sometimes it ain't always about money. Sometimes it could just be you just, hey, could you just hold my shirt up, or could you just say my brand name? You know what I mean? Everything ain't always about no bread. Sometimes them promoting your brand for you, with them having way more known and more famous than you, help spread the word and make more people interested in your brand. You know what I mean? Yeah, money cool. We all want money. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, let's say right now one of y'all on here ran across Will Smith. You mean to tell me you gonna take the chance of begging him for $100 versus you having a product or a channel or anything, and you just can have him shout you out and use his shout out as your intro on your channel? You know what I mean? I'd rather take that route. I can come up on $100. You know what I mean? But I'd rather have the shout out and all that because I could roll with that. You know what I mean? See, our problem is the moment we get a hold of any situation, we don't roll with it. You know what I mean? Like how Max B just came home, glowed out. I'm talking about, you know what I mean, smoking big boy thorns like me. You know what I mean? It's like he never left, but he know he left. You know, reality always hit you. You know what I mean? It don't matter how much stick in the movie you're doing. At some point, you got to settle down. Your body get tired because if you don't, it's gonna catch up with you. Your body settle down, and you had that moment where you wake up, or before you go to sleep, you laying there like, damn, I'm really not in the chain gang no more. Like, damn. You know what I mean? It be every moment, everything you dreamed about happening when you was locked up is happening right now. You know what I mean? You get your balls rubbed, uh, your chest rubbed on. You know what I mean? You got a crook in your neck. You know what I mean? Woman hands is different from us men. Us men, we got damn near leather. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like woman, it just feel a lot more different and better. You know what I mean? You don't. You mean you can rub your own neck all day as a man, but you can lie. But let a woman rub it, you gonna close your eyes. You gonna lean, per damn near go to sleep, like you getting a haircut or something. You know what I mean? So, um, him coming home and the way he came home, I damn near celebrated it. You know what I mean? I smoked me one up and just watched him really just in his glow. You know what I mean? And personally, I feel like if you French Montana who's a real friend, okay, yeah, money ain't everything, but I don't see nothing wrong with, like, if you making sure your man's good and y'all do a project together, you at least try to get half of what you spent back off a nigga. You know what I mean? So, you know, but they was already homies. You know what I mean? It's deeper than rap. You know what I mean? So I just know we all who tune in to Tribe TV should want a friend like French Montana. You know what I mean? And I ain't just saying he the only one looked out. We just saying, you know what I mean? Hypothetically, you know what I mean? you do want good people in your corner. You know what I mean? That shit does matter. You know what I mean? For real. Cause I done came home before. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. You can sit in prison, jail, wherever. You could plan all day how you want things to go. You know what I mean? It's not gonna always go. If it go the way a person go, that means they was really blessed. Cause anybody who been locked up before, like if you ain't surrounded by the right people or you ain't do right by certain people, you know what I mean? Though you could plan all day. That don't mean it's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. Especially if you ain't got no balance, meaning like you ain't got nobody at the crib to put you on game. You know what I mean? Not street life, but just as far as, just stuff in general. You've been gone a few years. Look, whoop de whoop de whoop 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 whoop. Chad Brooks, Knoxville, Tennessee. My dog, what it do? I go through Knoxville all the time, Tennessee. I appreciate you tapping in. Hit that like button, family, and set your notifications. My boy said he from Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm from Florida, so I come through your way all the time. Good, my dog, salute. For sure. See how that nigga Chad Brooks nigga just tap in, throw a little quick salute, what it do, gang, shout out where they from. And then they go about their way, man. But like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, when you come home, it don't always go away as you think it's gonna go. You can write it down in a book the night before you get out of jail. You can, you know what I mean? The only thing that's gonna go, and it don't even gotta be a part of the plan, is that toxic, that toxic ass relationship you was in, or that toxic ass chick. You know all the negatives gonna be there. You know what I mean? It's on you. You know what I mean? The negative's gonna work out faster than the positive. Matter of fact, because it's like just as well as God be working, the devil be working, and we all be forgetting that. We all be tweaking for real. We'll be somewhere and be wondering why somebody like why this nigga, why she acting, you know what I mean? Like, you acting weird, you messing up the energy, like, you know what I mean? It don't never cross our mind that the devil got people that work for him too. He got some that's out to kill you. It's different level. Some who just work out to destroy you mentally. Anytime you come up with a positive idea, they want to shoot it down or tell you, nah, that's whack. You know what I mean? Like, me, I realized some things in life. Thanks. You already know it, family. I appreciate you. Hit that like button while you're here, though. I learned a lot of things, man, and it came with growth, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something that I don't really tell people when I talk, because they don't understand there's levels to different conversations. You know what I mean? When you have got in trouble before with the law, or just, you know what I mean, and you overcame those obstacles, and you be free like 20 years, bro, it's a lot of stuff that they care about that you don't give a fuck about. You know what I mean? That you don't care about. The best way, as far as to be solo. You know what I mean? Like, you have your chosen people who you associate with and all that. And I ain't saying associate meaning like you don't love them. I'm just saying hypothetical, like, just who you know what I mean? You want to know if they good, and they probably want to know if you good. But as far as like on a rolling side, like if I'm in traffic, I'm solo. See, I learned through life, man. I don't need nobody to help me smoke my weed. If I want to pop a bottle, I don't need nobody to help me pop no bottle. I could do all that myself. You know what I mean? And then you got to be careful of the people who you let around you who know what you like to do. So that's what y'all all don't be thinking about. Hit that like button. That we all be having people around us because They know what we love to do and what we like to do. A lot of us think we genuinely got real friends around us. Your dumb ass have no clue that you might be the only one with the job or the one with the strong hand who could pull a move out of nowhere like, hey, I got a lick on such and such, or I got a move, woo, 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 woo. You think a nigga love you really because he your dog and y'all gonna slang iron for each other. Man, niggas love you, bro, because they know you a cowboy. They know right now if y'all off perks and it's crunch time and the city dry, you gonna run off in somewhere and lay it down, even by yourself, and come back out and still split the bread and nobody ain't participate, help plan. They know they could just benefit off you. They know you got the bud all the time. You gonna pull up a foe, you gonna whatever. You know what I mean? So a lot of us, we don't realize it until you get locked up. You know what I mean? And you able to really have to be by yourself and stand on business. You know what I mean? You ain't got the gang with you since you was potty trained. You know what I mean? What topic are you talking about? Oh, I was talking about my fault, dog. I ain't, you know, my boy, I wouldn't ignore you. We was talking about Max B being free and how being locked up can really change you or it can derange you. Meaning like you mentally, you just been in there letting them drug you up, you slobbing out the mouth. You know what I mean? You know, just that conversation really, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about my experience as far as how a lot of people ain't fortunate like Max. You know what I mean? Max came home, and if you somebody who got in trouble before, and you on YouTube like me, and you seen how Max came home and all the love from jewelers and just everybody and just embracing it, you know that's major to you. You know what I mean? My boy said he Muslim for sure. Yeah, he you know, if you ever got in any trouble, even if it was county time, ain't about prison, and you just got out in general, you know how you really want to be embraced. If it was up to you, you will have a stretch limo out there with everybody you truly mess with out there waiting on you. You know what I mean? You want to be missed. You want to be felt like, dang, man, it was different when you weren't around. You know what I mean? Like, not saying anything bad, you know, but like I said, you know, when you see somebody come home in 2000, this year, a lot of people has came home from stretches. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so when you see people come home, and even BG from Cash Money, you know what I mean? He hopped right back on it. You know what I mean? And everybody ain't fortunate to do that. You know what I mean? Look at Bobby Smurder. You know, I don't know. I mean, he was lit before he got locked up. Him and Rowdy, both. You know what I mean? Got out. Even if you gave them a hit, they probably couldn't even rap it right or perform it right, and it still wouldn't sell. You know what I mean? So I was a Max B fan before he got locked up. You know what I mean? I know what he brought to the game when he was around Jim Jones. I know a lot of that music that Jim Jones was coming out with back then when they had Bird Gang with him, Mel Matrix. I forgot all their names or whatever, but Max was responsible for the hooks and a lot of the ideas. And that's why he went on Sub Zero, which is a DVD. Y'all go check him out. Classic interview with Max B. He was talking about, man, how dudes basically in there, and you ain't benefiting from the work you adding and putting in. You know what I mean? So at some point, you can't be caught up in a starstruck moment. You gotta, you know what I mean? This ain't for everybody because you got people like Max B and me and similar people who have touch paper. So if you go around somebody, you ain't all really starstruck. You know how to go about yourself versus somebody who, you know what I mean? They never really had lump sums and street money. So when they come across somebody, they may be more fanned out versus a street person. Because a lot of people who be in the street, we already kind of got fame. You know what I mean? Like if you was in the street and you was handling your business like you was a gangster and all of that, like you know what I mean? Like that, you got fame. I don't mean that we're not promoting nothing negative. We just talking about my experience and then just other people in general. But I'm gonna give y'all, I'm gonna mix mine in because we was talking about Max B. But I'm gonna tell you this much. because Max B was already known anyway. Like when you somebody and you already been known, you know what I mean? Like in the streets and whatever come with the streets, you hitting the lottery or signing a deal or becoming an actor blowing up is just make you 10 times more lit because you was already known in the streets. Everybody already knew, okay, he gonna slang that iron. He gonna I seen him do it. Broad daylight, no mask. I come from the era where y'all be wearing shiesties now. My era, I'm 42. I just turned 42 November 9th. My era, we wanted you to know we done it to you. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to say niggas ain't living like that now, but I'm just saying, like, my era growing up, like, man, broad daylight. Yeah, boy, we cutting up out here. Fly, fly. You know what I mean? That's all. Yeah, we really living like that. And ain't hiding either. You know what I mean? You know, get rid of your pipes, but you ain't ducking them. You know what I mean? Like, boy, you know where I'm at. Boy, I'm out here posted like the stop sign. You know what I mean? So, and that's crazy how that was exciting. You know what I mean? And this is all coming from an ignorant, young individual who just caught up in the moment of life and don't realize it until something make you realize it. You think sliding is exciting. You know what I mean? I'm putting points on the scoreboard, boy, more than 2, 3 times a week. You know what I mean? I'm out here. You know what I mean? Who is the best rapper? To me, my fault. You my homie. You right. Who is the best rapper? I ain't gonna cap. I can't say who the best because, bro, you see how I'm talking about Max B right now, but I can get off live right now and go listen to some Project Pat. You know what I mean? Like, and then I'm from Florida. We love Trick Daddy, bro. You know what I mean? www.thugs and book an AK-47 album and all that. Like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Trick, boy, that was before we got Boston Richie and T-Pain and all that. Boy, Trick held it down for us. So I'm all around. Then I might go East Coast. I like Raekwon, Ghost, Inspector Deck, You God, Capadonna, Jada Kiss, Style, Chic. You know what I mean? The old Jewels, Cam every now and then. I don't like who Cam is now. Um, DMX, Jay Z, old Jay Z. Uh, I can go all around. Then you want to go Midwest? I'm in Ohio right now. I can go Bone Thugs. You know what I mean? I grew up off them. Even when I was in the South, I was listening to "Is the Thuggish Ruggish." Yeah, yeah, we was yeah. You know what I mean? Nas. Then we go West Coast. Uh, the originals, nigga. You know what I mean? So I'm all balanced all around. I damn nigga get into Christian rap, boy. I'm talking about country. You know what I mean? I grew up all around. Like my mama used to listen to all round music as far as you damn near want to be like, look, ma, I love you, but just let me out down the street. You know what I mean? I do not want nobody hearing this shit. You know what I mean? My mama know I love you. You know what I mean? I love both of my parents, but yeah, man. Um, Either get locked up can change you, or you could come home and prosper and take advantage. Like look at Max B. He already got a maxb.com set up. You know what I mean? They already tapping him in. He got merch. You know what I mean? And you keep that merch. Merch is like the new work. You know what I mean? Like you got merch. You know what I mean? Just be patient and just what I mean. What they the so-called say in the game, like sit on it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, at some point, somebody who truly trying to see you go and stay the path you going, they'll support you. They'll support you. So like I say, man, the Silver Surf Dunn came home. You know what I mean? It's good to see him back. He proposed to his girl. The comments clowning Jim Jones because he been with Chrissy forever. He ain't proposed yet. The comments clowning like how Max just came home and zoom. You know what I mean? But I know one thing, man. I know true happiness, like on people's face when they get out, because, like I say, I was in that situation before, and you know what I mean. I know, and it's good to see a person come home like that to so much gifts and love and all of that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we all don't know each other, but we all deserve some form of love. You know what I mean? Like everybody don't deserve to be treated like a stray dog. You know what I mean? Like you deserve to feel love at least 3 times in your life, like strikes or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? More than once. You know what I mean? Because you got to know what's real and what's not. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I want to say welcome home. You know what I mean? To Max B. You know what I mean? Make America wave again. And like I say, man, positivity, we promote that. You know what I mean? Y'all already know what we about: hip hop, sports, and fashion. If you're trying to get something to get your boost going, pre-workout, we got testosterone booster, 60 capsules, see results in 7 days. Take 2 a day. You know what I mean? We promote that over here. You see the stamp, try it. Get with me, and I will make sure you get them ASAP. And we always got some around. Hoodie. Y'all see the hoodie? That's the back. It's the front. We'll be posting those. Like I say, go to my yeah, go to my YouTube post. You know what I mean? Check my posts for merch updates. You know what I mean? Hit that like button. Set your notifications. You know what I mean? Like I say once again, Max B, welcome home. Oh, mental health. I know I ain't been doing that. Anybody out there suffering from mental health, depression, you know what I mean? You're an introvert. You just feel you don't mesh well with people. Um, Try listening to instrumentals or some Sade. You know what I mean? Like I recommend Sade. Some people in the hood call her Sade, but Sade. Listen to some Kiss Alive. Listen to some good, relaxing music, and get in a positive light of how you vision yourself. You know what I mean? And how you want to see yourself. You know what I mean? How can you improve? You know what I mean? And like I always tell you, find your workout. You know what I mean? We big on mental health around here. You know what I mean? Start walking. You know what I mean? You got to. I learned something. Even in prison, when you get locked up, they let the inmates exercise because they know. You know what I mean? If you don't, it's gonna be a lot of on edge type shit going on. You know what I mean? So working out is actually good for you mentally. That's why they let prisoners do it because they know, you know what I mean? That helps them. You know what I mean? So, go for walks. You know what I mean? Turn you on some Sade. You know what I mean? And patch yourself up and get yourself together. You know what I mean? But like I say, like, comment, subscribe, Tribe Gang. Remember, jackets dropping, unlimited edition. You know what I mean? Any questions, anything you want to add, you can go to my YouTube post or go to G Rio Benji Facebook. You know what I mean? Send me a request, get at me through Messenger. You know what I mean? And we make it happen. Until then, try game, try TV.